Hi, we're here at APE Games here at Essen Spiel 2015. I'm here with Kevin, and we're about to talk about some of the games APE have released. Let's talk Spirits of the Rice Paddy, Kevin. Can you just explain the game to me?
Sure. Spirits of the Rice Paddy is by Philip Dewberry. He's done several other games you've probably heard of in the past. He did Revolution. He just did come up with Skyway Robbery. Several other games like that. And he did Spirits of the Rice Paddy for me. We found it 2 or 3 years ago. Wonderful game. It's been in development for actually almost 2 years. It's just coming out now, and we're introducing it at Essen. It's a game about rice farming and everything you love about rice farming, all in a game. It's a medium to heavyweight Euro, and the idea of the game is you start with an empty field, and you have 10 workers, and you're going to use those workers to help you build walls and gates and build a paddy into your field. That's going to let water flow through it, which allows you to grow rice and grow rice and harvest it. Now, if you know anything about rice farming, and I didn't before I played this game, but the different times of the season, you need to have water in your field, and sometimes you have to let water through your field and out of it so that you can do things like weeding it, removing pests, and harvesting. So the cool part of this game, it's a worker placement game, but the cool part of it is that you need to be very strategic about how you flow the water through so that you can optimize the growth cycles, and when you don't have water in, you can do your weeding and harvesting, and when you do have it in there, you can optimize it by planting and growing. Now, water is a very, very rare commodity in the game, and as a player, you need to gauge when in the cycle you're going to get the water, as well as knowing when you're going to get it, or if you're going to get it at all, is going to really be a key part of your strategy in the game.
Perfect. I mean, how did you come about with rice farming? Was it mechanics first or theme first?
The game came to us as rice farming, and it really is a heavy themed game. I don't think you could probably theme this any other way.
That's really cool. And we've also got Arcadia here, which is new as well. Can you talk us through that a bit?
Yeah, so, if you played Roller Coaster Tycoon back in the 80s and 90s on the computer, this game is a little bit reminiscent of that. It is a very light family card game where you're building an amusement park. And the idea of the game is you collect jobs and expert cards in your hand, and these job and expert cards can be traded in to build certain attractions. Attractions are things like rides, roller coasters, etc., shows, jugglers and things like that, restaurants, food stands, and also midway games. And then those different categories require different types of jobs and experts to build. So you collect them, trade them in, build in an ever-increasing complex amusement park, and whoever got after 4 years of building, whoever got the best park wins.
That's pretty cool. Was that theme first or mechanics first?
This was mechanic first. It actually came to us as building a fantasy village. And then we thought, lots of fantasy games out there, let's change the theme. So we changed it at that point to Mars colonization, and that was a little too dense for most people, and then we just switched it to settled on the amusement park, which is because the game is very light and has really, I think it's going to have huge family appeal, and so we wanted a theme that was very evocative of something that families would get into.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Are both of these available now outside of Essen?
They are not available in stores yet. You can buy them here at Essen, obviously, but they will be available in stores late November, early December.
Perfect. And while I've got you, and I know it's a cheeky question, any plans for 2016 yet that you want to talk about?
Oh, actually, it's a very good question. I'm glad you mentioned it. I've actually got a game called, you don't have a, let me pull this out of here. On Kickstarter right now is a game called The Great Dinosaur Rush by Scott Alms. Scott Alms is a designer. He's done the Tiny Epic games and several other really great games. And this is a game that's very different than anything he's done before. The idea is you are a paleontologist in the Bone Wars back in the late 1800s in the United States. These paleontologists were really cutthroat, and there's a lot of competition to get your bones and your dinosaurs into the museums. And so you, as a paleontologist, are digging up bones, building dinosaurs, but you're also doing very, very nefarious things to your opponents and gaining notoriety as you do it. In this game, as you gain notoriety, it's actually added to your score at the end of the game. and you keep it secret. Nobody knows how much notoriety you actually have, because as you gain it, you gain you basically draw tokens that have varying numbers of notoriety on them. So if you have the notoriety, it's added to your score at the end, unless you have the most notoriety, in which case it's subtracted from your score. The cool part of the game, this is also going to be a nice family game for ages 10 and up, is that you really get to play with your creative side, because as you collect these bones, the bones are in 5 different colors: red, green, blue, yellow, white. And they have different meanings. Like, you can use green bones for the head and also for the rib cage. You can use yellow for neck and tail, etc. And you're going to build your dinosaur using those bones. And each turn, museum categories are going to have different values. And you're going to try to optimize the dinosaur you build each turn to appeal to the museum and score the most points.
Oh, perfect. And if people miss the Kickstarter, when's the sort of release?
I would say summer 2016.
Perfect. Thank you so much for chatting to us, Kevin. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming by.
Thank you.